Have you ever wondered what happens when you place your trust and your $50 a month in the hands of an internet role model? Well, Andrew Tate's followers just learned the hard way. His online school, The Real World, suffered a catastrophic data breach, exposing the personal information of 800,000 users. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's dive into how this happened and why it's a wake-up call for anyone relying on controversial influencers. There's a growing crisis among young men, with many lacking positive role models or father figures. They turn to the internet desperate for guidance, and that's where figures like Andrew Tate step in, offering what seems like a roadmap to success. But when the so-called top G gets involved, it's never as straightforward as it seems. Tate's platform, The Real World, formerly known as Hustlers University, claims to teach life-changing skills in crypto, fitness, and e-commerce. Yet, the only lesson learned by his students this week was about cyber vulnerabilities. The breach is a bombshell. Usernames, emails, forum roles, and even digital currency balances were leaked. And for the cherry on top, the contents of hundreds of public and private chat servers, riddled with questionable discussions, are now in the hands of hackers. Imagine your employer stumbling upon your posts in what could be described as a chaotic blend of an unmoderated 4chan thread and Xbox 360-era Call of Duty lobbies. That's the nightmare Tate's followers are living. So who's behind the breach? While no group has officially claimed responsibility, the hackers dropped plenty of hints, including spamming pro-LGBT emojis during Tate's Rumble podcast. They didn't stop at leaking data. They exploited platform vulnerabilities to upload emojis, crash accounts, and even ban users temporarily. It's a mess that raises serious questions about the security, or lack thereof, of platforms tied to controversial figures. What's even more shocking is the sheer scale of Tate's earnings. With over 113,000 active users paying $50 monthly, he's raking in upwards of $5.5 million every month. But when you're spending more on flashy cars than on securing your website, you leave your followers exposed, literally. The fallout for Tate's students is grim. Association with his platform could tarnish reputations, cost jobs, or lead to public humiliation. And for those who reused LinkedIn details or personal emails, the damage might already be done. If this sounds like a nightmare, check your email against databases like Have I Been Pwned and take steps to protect your digital footprint. Andrew Tate has built a divisive empire by presenting himself as the ultimate role model for young men seeking success. With flashy cars, bold claims, and a polarizing persona, he has drawn in legions of followers who pay $50 a month for his mentorship on topics like crypto, fitness, and entrepreneurship. But behind the bravado, his platform's shocking security failure has unveiled a different reality, one where those seeking guidance are left vulnerable and exposed. This story is more than just a data breach. It's a cautionary tale about putting your faith in controversial figures who promise the world but deliver chaos. Today's young men are navigating a world where traditional support systems like father figures or mentors are increasingly absent. In this void, many turn to the internet looking for someone to guide them. Enter Andrew Tate, a self-proclaimed top G who promises to teach his followers how to dominate life. For many, his bold persona and confident advice offer an appealing alternative to the uncertainty they face. But with Tate's influence comes risk, a reality now painfully clear as his followers deal with the fallout of his platform's glaring vulnerabilities. The scale of the real-world data breach is staggering. Personal information for nearly 800,000 users was exposed, including usernames, email addresses, and platform activity. This isn't just a case of private data slipping through the cracks, it's a full-blown security catastrophe. The breach also revealed detailed membership records, exposing how long users had been part of the program, their roles within the platform, and even their accumulated coin balances, a gamified currency meant to track engagement. For many, this is more than just an embarrassing data dump. It's a digital scarlet letter that could haunt them professionally and personally. Adding fuel to the fire, the breach included leaked content from Tate's courses. The material, once locked behind a $1.50 a month paywall, is now freely available online. But it's not just the course content that's causing concern. The leak also revealed hundreds of thousands of chat messages from both public and private servers. These messages offer a window into the culture of the real world, which some have likened to a toxic mix of unmoderated internet forums and Xbox 360-era gaming chats. For users who participated participated in these discussions, the exposure could have serious repercussions, especially if their contributions align with the inflammatory and controversial tone often associated with Andrew Tate's brand. So who's behind this high-profile hack? While no individual or group has officially claimed responsibility, the clues left behind paint a compelling picture. During Tate's recent Rumble podcast, his live chat was spammed with pro-LGBT emojis, leading many to believe the breach was carried out by activists targeting his controversial views. The hackers didn't just leak data, they exploited platform vulnerabilities to disrupt operations, uploading emojis, deleting attachments, and even temporarily banning users. This calculated chaos suggests the attackers weren't just after information, but were also making a bold statement against the divisive culture fostered by Tate and his platform. The breach also exposed glaring weaknesses in the real world's platform infrastructure. Despite raking in millions every month, it appears little was invested in protecting user data. Hackers exploited vulnerabilities that allowed them to not only access sensitive information, but also wreak havoc on user interactions, deleting attachments, crashing clients, and temporarily banning accounts. Comparatively, platforms like Rumble, though not without their own security challenges, offer a more robust infrastructure and fewer restrictions, making them a popular alternative for controversial creators. This breach raises serious questions about the priorities of Andrew Tate's operation and whether user security was ever a genuine concern. For those who trusted Tate's platform, the consequences could be life-altering. Having your email, username, and private conversations leaked online is damaging enough, but the reputational risks are even higher. Employers, schools, and peers may now associate users with Tate's polarizing brand, potentially branding them as toxic or misogynistic. Worse, if users recycled emails or usernames linked to other platforms, their broader digital footprint could also be at risk. For anyone affected, the first step is to check databases like "Have I been pooned?" to confirm exposure, followed by changing login credentials and cleaning up their online presence. This data breach is a stark reminder of the risks of aligning with controversial online influencers. Andrew Tate's followers signed up for mentorship, but were instead exposed to ridicule and digital vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, Tate himself continues to profit, collecting millions every month despite the chaos surrounding his platform. This isn't just about cybersecurity, it's about the cost of putting your trust in personalities who prioritize their image over the well-being of their audience. If there's one takeaway from this story, it's this: think twice before handing over your money and your data to anyone promising a quick path to success. As news of the breach spread, Andrew Tate wasted no time addressing the situation, but his response was as polarizing as his persona. In a series of posts and statements, Tate dismissed the breach as an attack orchestrated by his enemies, who are threatened by his influence. Rather than focusing on the security failures of his platform, Tate doubled down on his rhetoric, claiming the hack was part of a larger conspiracy to silence him and discredit his teachings. He assured followers that the real world would continue to operate and framed the incident as a minor setback in his larger mission to empower young men. Critics, however, were quick to point out the lack of acknowledgement or accountability for the security flaws that led to the leak. Instead of offering concrete solutions or an apology to affected users, Tate's focus remained on maintaining his public image and spinning the breach as proof of his unstoppable influence. For many, this reaction further underscores the risks of putting blind faith in high-profile influencers who prioritize their brand over the well-being of their followers. As affected users scramble to secure their digital identities, the controversy surrounding Andrew Tate and his platform continues to deepen. Always protect your digital identity and scrutinize the platforms you engage with. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, share it with others to spread awareness, and subscribe to stay updated on stories like this. Your support helps expose these issues and ensures you stay one step ahead in navigating the digital world.